Welcome to this deep dive. We're zeroing in on something really important for anyone navigating the digital world today.
Especially if you're doing GCSE computer science here in the UK.
Exactly. We're looking at how digital tech is shaping and sometimes, well, shaking up our society.
Yeah, forget just the coding for a moment. This is the bigger picture, right? How it affects us all.
Definitely. Digital technology isn't just like a tool anymore. It's woven into pretty much everything we do.
It really is. So for this deep dive, our mission, if you like, is to get to grips with the ethical, the legal, and the environmental side effects.
Ripples, maybe?
Yeah, ripples, good word. Ripples caused by us relying so much on computers and the internet.
Think of it as like understanding the instruction manual for living now.
Pretty much.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Starting with something that probably crosses your mind when you're, scrolling your phone. Privacy.
Privacy.
Yeah.
In the world of computing, what exactly are we talking about when we say there's a privacy issue? Well, at its heart, a privacy issue pops up when your personal information, what you search for online, where you go physically, even who your mates are,
Yeah.
is collected or looked at or used without you really knowing about it.
Or agreeing to.
Or agreeing or having any say in it at all. And as we live more online, this whole question of who has our digital footprints, our digital breadcrumbs, and what they're doing with them, it becomes really, really crucial.
It feels like a constant balancing act, though, doesn't it?
How do you mean?
Well, on one side, we all value our personal space, right? Our right to keep certain things private. But then you hear the argument, maybe from the government or security services, that they need access to some of this data to keep us safe, supposedly. It's a real push and pull.
Oh, absolutely. That tension is like right at the center of the whole debate, and we see it playing out in everyday stuff right here in the UK.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, take face recognition technology. You see more and more CCTV everywhere. And now it's often linked to clever software that can actually identify people. Now, on one hand, this could be great for catching criminals, preventing crime.
You see those news reports, don't you? Suspects identified from footage.
Exactly.
But then you immediately think, well, okay, if you can spot criminals, what else is it watching?
Precisely.
And, more importantly, who's got access to that footage? And that data, how long is it kept for? It just opens up loads of questions about, like, constant surveillance.
It really does. Or think about GPS in our smartphones.
Yeah.
Features like Find My Phone are lifesavers, let's be honest.
Oh, tell me about it. Lost mine last week, found it straight away.
Yeah. And location tagging and photos can be fun. Navigation apps are basically essential now.
Couldn't live without Google Maps, seriously.
Yeah.
Getting around town. A nightmare otherwise.
But there's that little voice, isn't there, wondering where's all this location data actually being saved?
Who could see it?
Yeah, and could it be used in ways I haven't even thought about? Or ways I wouldn't like?
Those are exactly the right questions. And you get similar worries with internet monitoring. Pretty common in UK schools and workplaces, too.
Yeah, the idea is often to encourage, responsible online behavior, keep things safe.
And social media companies use similar tools, right, to try and catch harmful stuff, hate speech, misinformation.
They do, and you can see the logic, can't you? Wanting safer online spaces, tackling cyberbullying.
Definitely. But then you also worry about the flip side, limits on what people can actually say and do online.
Free speech concerns.
Yeah. And who decides what's okay and what's not? Plus, could these monitoring systems be misused?
By people in charge. It's a risk.
And what about the algorithms, the programs doing the filtering? Could they have hidden biases, leading to unfair censorship, maybe?
That's a huge ethical area we'll touch on later, actually. But yeah, it all boils down to this fundamental question in our digital age. How do we balance security in order with our rights to privacy and freedom of expression?
Tricky stuff. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Legal issues?
Right.
So these are like problems or disagreements about the actual rules, the laws.
Exactly. How the laws we have are interpreted, applied, or sometimes, broken in the world of computing.
So what are the main UK laws we need to know about for GCSE?
Okay, a really big one is the Data Protection Act 2018. Its main job, essentially, is to protect your personal data from being misused.
And personal data is?
Stuff like your name, address, date of birth.
The basics.
Yeah, but also more sensitive things like your race, religion, health information, that sort of thing. Basically, anything that can identify you.
Okay. And the Act sets out rules for organizations handling this data.
Yes. 6 key principles they mostly have to follow. The first one is that personal data must be handled fairly and lawfully, meaning organizations need to be upfront about why they're collecting your data and what they'll use it for. So your school collects emergency contact details. They should tell you it's for, well, emergencies.
Right. Makes sense. Open and honest. What's number 2?
Personal data must only be collected for specific, clearly stated, and legitimate purposes.
So they can't just collect it for one thing and then use it for something else sneaky?
Pretty much. An online shop gets your phone number for delivery updates. They can't then just start spamming you with marketing texts unless you specifically agreed to that.
The infamous tick box. Okay, principle 3.
Personal data should be adequate, relevant, and not excessive. Basically, don't ask for more than you actually need.
Like, a bank probably doesn't need my inside leg measurement to open a simple account.
Exactly. They don't need your entire life story if it's not relevant to opening that account.
Got it. Number 4.
Data must be accurate and kept up to date. If they've got wrong info about you, you have the right to get it fixed.
Like if your library keeps sending overdue notices to your old house.
Precisely. They need to update their records when you tell them you've moved.
Fair enough. And the 5th principle.
Personal data shouldn't be kept for longer than is necessary for the purpose it was collected for.
So, once they don't need it anymore.
They should securely delete it. If you close your account with, say, an online retailer, they shouldn't just keep your details hanging around forever.
That's good to know. And the last one, number 6.
Personal data must be handled in a way that respects your rights. And a key right is access. If you ask, an organization generally has to let you see the personal data they hold on you.
So you could ask your doctor for your medical records.
Yep. Or ask a company what info they have stored about your purchasing habits. It's your right to know.
Okay, that's the Data Protection Act covered. What other key laws are there in the UK relating to computers?
Another really crucial one is the Computer Misuse Act 1990. This focuses more on the harmful or illegal use of computers, hacking, basically.
Right, the cybercrime stuff. It's from 1990. Seems a bit old for tech law.
It is, but it's been updated. It was originally brought in to tackle hacking, but it covers more now. And things like using strong passwords, keeping software updated, that helps protect against the kind of misuse this act covers.
Okay, so what does it actually say is illegal?
There are 3 main offenses. First, gaining unauthorized access to computer material. Like a student guessing a teacher's password and logging in to look at files they shouldn't see. Just looking.
Bit cheeky.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the second offense?
Unauthorized access with the intent to commit further offenses. So our student logs in, not just to snoop, but planning to do something else.
Like change their grades?
Exactly. Even just intending to do it after getting in counts here.
That's definitely more serious.
Yeah.
And the third one must be?
Unauthorized modification of computer files. This is where the student actually does change the grades, or deletes files, or adds a virus, that kind of thing.
And the consequences get worse for each level.
Absolutely. The punishments increase significantly. All 3 can potentially lead to prison time, depending on how serious it is. Definitely not worth messing about with.
Good advice. Now, what about protecting creative stuff online? Music, software, art.
Ah, right. That brings us to the Copyright Designs and Patents Act, 1988. Another slightly older one, but still vital.
What's its main job?
It protects intellectual property. The original ideas people turn into things like books, songs, software, photos, films, you name it. It basically makes it illegal to copy, change, or share this stuff without the owner's permission.
So if you say, write a song for your music GCSE, you automatically own the copyright.
In most cases, yes. Copyright protection is usually automatic for original work in the UK, and it lasts for a long time, often your whole life, plus 70 years after.
Wow. And it's up to the owner to chase people who copy it.
Generally, yes. If someone thinks their copyright has been infringed, they need to take action under this act.
We see this with online piracy all the time, right? People downloading films or music illegally.
Exactly. Loads of websites offer free downloads of copyrighted stuff, and that really hurts the creators, musicians, filmmakers, software developers because they don't get paid.
Yeah, it stops them earning a living from their work.
Downloading and sharing films or music without paying or getting permission is a clear breach of copyright, even streaming from dodgy sites.
So what kind of actions specifically break this law?
Well, there are what they call primary infringements, like directly copying the work, sharing copies with the public, like uploading a film, renting it out without permission, performing it publicly,
Okay.
and even making adaptations, like translating a book without permission. Then there are secondary infringements.
Which are?
Things like importing illegal copies, or owning them for business reasons, or selling dodgy copies, even providing the kit for people to make illegal copies, or letting your premises be used for it.
Sounds pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
Okay, one last legal bit.
Yeah.
Software licenses.
Yes. So a software license is just the legal agreement telling you how you're allowed to use a piece of software.
And there are different types.
Two main ones you need to know: open source and proprietary. And they have really different rules about using the software, sharing it, changing it, getting help.
Okay, break it down for us. Open source first.
Right. Open source software usually means the source code, the actual programming instructions, is available for anyone to see.
So you can look under the bonnet, so to speak.
Exactly. You can often modify it, maybe fix bugs yourself or adapt it. It's usually free to use, and you might be allowed to share your improved versions. Think Linux, or maybe some free editing software.
Okay, and proprietary.
That's usually software made by a company, and you typically pay for a license to use it. Think Microsoft Windows or Adobe Photoshop. The code is normally kept secret.
But you often get support.
Yeah, you usually get official support, regular updates, bug fixes from the company that made it. It's often seen as more polished, maybe.
So pros and cons. Open source.
Pros, often free, encourages collaboration, so bugs might get fixed quickly by the community, lots of community support forums. Cons might need some technical skill to tweak it, support isn't guaranteed from one place, updates might be less regular, and maybe a slight security risk if someone dodgy adds bad code.
And proprietary software.
Pros, usually dedicated customer support, often very professional quality, clear company responsibility. Cons can be expensive, you generally can't change the code yourself, you're reliant on that one company for updates, and it might not do exactly what you want.
Okay, that gives us a good handle on the legal side. Now let's think about the planet. Environmental issues.
Yeah, this is increasingly important. Environmental issues in computing are basically the negative impacts on the planet from making and using all this tech.
And as we use more and more devices,
The impact just grows. Manufacturing all these devices keeps going up and up.
and that hits the environment in a few ways, right? Resources.
Definitely. First off, natural resources. Making all the bits inside our computers, phones, tablets, it needs huge amounts of raw materials. Metals, plastics.
And getting those out of the ground isn't exactly eco-friendly.
Not at all. Mining, processing, it all takes a toll. Then there's energy use.
Yeah, keeping everything running.
Think about it. We want 247 access to websites, cloud storage, streaming. All that needs power. Massive data centers running servers constantly. Plus the energy needed to cool them down. The demand is huge and growing.
You hear about these giant server farms using as much electricity as a small town.
It's that kind of scale. And then, what happens when we're done with the devices?
E-waste.
Exactly. We live in a bit of a throwaway society when it comes to tech. Companies push new models constantly. We want the latest gadget.
So we check out the old ones pretty quickly.
Yeah, rapid disposal. And all that electronic waste, the pollution from making it, shipping it, and then dumping it in landfill, it's a massive problem. Toxic materials can leak into the ground. It's not good.
Definitely something to think about when you upgrade your phone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring this back specifically to the GCSE syllabus stuff. You need to know about the impacts of key technologies.
Right. The course covers several important areas. Cybersecurity is obviously huge.
Yeah.
We've touched on the risks like hacking and data breaches.
Yeah. What about mobile tech, phones, tablets?
Massive impact. Positives, totally changed communication, instant info access, productivity on the go, loads of good stuff.
The downsides.
Distraction is a big one, right? And potential misuse of all the data these devices collect about us, like we discussed with privacy and location.
Okay. Wireless networking, Wi-Fi everywhere.
Super convenient, obviously, lets us connect easily, but it also opens up security holes if it's not set up properly. Easier for hackers to potentially get onto a network.
Cloud storage, saving everything online.
Again, brilliant for accessibility, getting your files anywhere, sharing easily. But the flip side is questions about data security. Who's really looking after your stuff? Do you still have control?
Hacking, we mentioned the Computer Misuse Act, but it's a huge societal risk too.
Oh, absolutely. Unauthorized access can lead to financial theft, identity theft, disruption of essential services, really serious consequences for individuals and society.
Okay, now, wearable tech, smartwatches, fitness trackers. The syllabus mentions looking at stakeholders.
Yeah, thinking about who is affected and how. So let's take customers, people like you, using the devices.
Okay, what are the impacts on us?
Well, positives include better health and fitness tracking, maybe improved productivity with notifications on your wrist, personalized experiences. Some even monitor medical conditions.
Sounds good. But the negatives for customers?
Privacy concerns, again, who sees my health data? Cybersecurity risks, can someone hack my watch? Data overload, maybe feeling stressed by all the stats. Social divide, not everyone can afford them. And even potential addiction or obsession with the data.
Yeah, I can see that. What about the shareholders? The people who own the companies making them?
For them, positives are potential for big profits if the devices sell well, creating new jobs in their company, opportunities for innovation. Negatives, fierce competition from other brands, pressure to keep profits high, and dealing with all the data privacy regulations and potential lawsuits if things go wrong.
Right. And finally, the wider community or society.
Positives could be overall improvements in public health if people get fitter, potential use in emergencies, maybe encouraging community fitness challenges. Negatives include that digital divide again, wider societal concerns about mass data collection and security, and maybe negative impacts on mental health from obsessive tracking or unrealistic goals promoted online.
It's really clear you have to look at it from all angles, doesn't it? Affects everyone differently.
Absolutely. Stakeholder analysis is key.
The syllabus also mentions computer-based implants, like pacemakers.
Yeah, things like pacemakers, cochlear implants. The main positive impact here is obviously medical, potentially life-saving or life-changing improvements for people. Huge benefits.
But there must be risks.
There are potential security vulnerabilities. Could someone hack a pacemaker? It sounds like sci-fi, but it's a concern that needs managing. And deep ethical questions, too, about technology inside the human body.
Wow. Okay, and lastly, autonomous vehicles. Self-driving cars.
They seem just around the corner, don't they? Potential benefits, maybe safer roads eventually, better transport for people who can't drive.
What about the challenges?
Big ones, job losses for professional drivers, taxis, lorries, huge economic shift. Then there are the really tough ethical dilemmas. How does the car decide who to protect in an unavoidable accident?
Trolley problem, but with cars.
Kind of, yeah. And again, massive cybersecurity concerns. You don't want someone hacking a fleet of self-driving lorries.
Definitely not. Okay. That's a lot to take in. So to sort of wrap up this deep dive.
I think the main takeaway is that digital technology has really profound effects on society. It's not just about cool gadgets.
No, it's multifaceted. It touches everything.
Yeah, it brings up complex ethical questions. It needs strong laws to manage it, and it has real environmental responsibilities tied to it. Understanding all these different bits is just crucial now.
It really makes you think differently about the phone in your pocket or the laptop you're using for schoolwork, doesn't it?
Hopefully. Thinking critically about the tech we use every day and its wider consequences is so important.
Absolutely.
And maybe that leads to a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Thinking about everything we've discussed, privacy, law, ethics, environment, all those specific technologies.
Yeah.
What single impact of digital technology do you think will be the most significant for your generation growing up right now in the UK? And why that one?
That's a big question. Definitely something to ponder.